happy. And let's put up a company that will never stop helping people. That's why I started thinking, first thing that help us become successful is the products, because you cannot tap the A-market and the professional if the product is not good. So we had a hard time looking for right products. During those days, every time we meet, every time we had a brainstorming, we always end up going home because there are no products available. We cannot just get malunggay and kamote everywhere here and anywhere in global. We cannot compete, with existing companies. So we need to wait and look for the right time. And finally, Nature's Way came by and then they invited us, and that's it. The rest is history. Our first year sales was 139 million. So we're really hustling. We're so prepared that we really, my house is during that time, my house was under construction, and all the funds that I have to fund the house were being invested in this business because of the idea of Docket. And he really wanted to the first Filipino-owned company to go global. And I think it's happening now. And soon we will be a multi-billion We started 3. There are about 3 audiences before when we started. Three people inside the room. Can you imagine? And we start pitching what's going to happen 3 years from now. 5. Oh, by the way, the 3 became millionaires, by the way. Okay. So you have to be ready. Your first 3 years would be a lot of not so comfortable moments in your global. First 3 years. Don't quit on the first year. I would suggest quit on the third year. But please don't quit on the third year because people will still, will laugh at you at the end. You stay there for 3 years and then you quit. Right? First year, education. You have to learn. You have to, these are the learning curve. You make money, it's just luck. I call it luck. But it's more on, first year, it's more on learning curve. It goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, right? But it's the best thing to do because, in the emergency room, if your monitor goes up and down, meaning you're alive. Don't go flatline, right? So that's okay. Normally, people who stayed in A Global for 5 years become wealthy beyond their wildest expectation. So for me, 3 years is the magic 3 years. Okay? So we'll be hustling for the next 3 years. Let's hustle for the next 3 years. Planting stage on the first year, right? You grow, you build relationship. But don't worry, we also make money in between. We are a real-time business. That third and fourth year will be your harvest time. Even if you do nothing, money will keep coming. Okay, next. Ready na ba si Chan? Hindi pa? Okay, bottom line, attitude. Everybody knew what attitude is needed in our business. Everybody say attitude. Attitude. What kind of attitude? Well, for me, it's a good learning attitude. Everybody here, let's start from 0. Just empty our cup. We need to learn, okay? That's why I have a struggle on my first 90 days because I refuse to learn. I refuse to sit down on the seminar because I'm an engineer. I always say to my dad, I'm an engineer. I know that. I know everything. But you see, on the 4th month, I'm almost quitting. Because I said to my father, I thought we're gonna be rich. How come all my friends are gone? They don't show up. I keep telling them we will be rich. But how come they changed their number? When they said, okay, I'm gonna study the business, I'm gonna be back and call you. They never called. So I'm about on the verge of quitting. Why? Because I never learned the basics. How come my friends don't join? It's now my 4th month. And my father said, well, the karma law, the law of karma, you also didn't join me. It took me 1 year and 8 months to let you sit down in the seminar room. Now I know what's going on. And I don't attend seminars. Why? Because again, I have my pride, this ego, really slowing my business down. I thought I knew everybody. I think I knew everything. I refused to learn. Until one day, I attended the first NDO in the Philippines. That was November of 1995. The first NDO. And we paid for the hotel, the 2,500 pesos. And I was sitting in front. Every time there's a seminar, I always sit in front. I have this, concentration issues. When one will go up and eat or maybe go to the restroom, I also go to the restroom, even if I'm not, my bladder is not full. I have distracting issues. That's why I make it a point I sit in front. If all the seat in front are all taken, I grab my seat and then pull it in front. It's the same anyway, right? That's why I absorbed the first NDO that I attended. And all he did that day was to crush on the attitude. He discussed about for 3 hours more on the attitude. Can you imagine? And my life had changed. Why? Because after that, I ran CDs, I burn CDs, I read books. Even if you come to the Philippines and I can drive you around with the cars that we have. And you're going to find out one thing, that I don't hear music. When you come to my car, all are CDs and audiobooks about motivational and inspirational CDs until today. That's how I take care of my motivation. So it's all about learning. If you want to grow, your money will grow as personality grows, and of course, you yourself. Don't stop learning. Got that one now? Next. Results. So, in order for your friends to join or come to see the business for the second or third time, I would suggest create results in less than a year. It's not about car or maybe house. No, it's not that practical yet. Maybe a good vacation will do, right? You go maybe to the Maldives or go to the Boracay and stay there for 3 months. That's a vacation. Right? Or maybe you go shopping with your family and then, people will begin to notice that something is going on and you're studying part-time. Don't wait for the car and to invite them. Just show small results. The accumulation. And your friends begin to ask, and have this pain of being left behind. That's our goal. To let them see that there's something going on in our business. I remember my third car was a BMW.
Wow.
And my friend asked me, who owns that? Your boss? And they tried to look for the papers. Yeah, can I see the documents? Can I see the documents? I want to roll them over. Just let them know that it's real, my car. You see, people that really have this to cease to believe issues. Trust me. So, I would suggest, on the first few months of your business, start sharing so that they know that you're really working hard, you're really sweating it out. And then one day, there's some changes. A good vacation will, inspire them because, as an employee, you can really ask your boss on a long vacation, right? Even if it's an important event in your family, you cannot just take a vacation, right? Oh, so nobody agrees. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Next, of course, I had to put D there because otherwise it's work hard, right? So I have to put D. Everybody needs determination, or this is a requirement, I think. You have to be determined. And tonight, I'd like to congratulate each and everyone because aside from being determined, you came all the way here from your place of birth just to go here to work. I think this one here, the right word, you already have a compelling reason why you are here in Dubai. We didn't come here to see the Burj Khalifa or the camel. Came here to work, right? Good thing about is, aside from fortune favors the bold, you are bolder because aside from your work, you are now have M Global on the side. Good thing, right? It's not an excuse that you have a job you cannot start creating wealth. No, everybody started part-time. I started part-time. Doc started part-time. He has 8 clinics. The hardest part to invite nowadays are doctors. To let them sit down on the seminar room for 1 hour and a half. Because doctors normally don't show up in the big crowd like this. They might see their patient, the patient that is still ill. Next. Okay. How are we going to see, or what are the factors if your downline is a potential leader? There are indications for the next 3 months, the first 90 days. You see, 90 days is crucial. Do you agree? Yes. Because on your 90 days, most of my friends didn't reach 90 days. They quit before the 90 days. Why? Because every time you see an opportunity like this, you go out very excited, very enthusiastic, and you try to talk to people, and suddenly all the friends disagree with you. There's this resistance, right? Especially if the people in your house, so it's none other than your mom and your pop. And you start to talk about life-changing opportunity, about success, about house, about car. And if these people don't join or agree with you, sometimes your motivation gone in 48 hours. Now, for me to see if these people or your prospect is a potential leader, like when I first met George last 1996, his upline told me that, upline, one of my prospects is an engineer. He's like you. He's a good-looking man too. Where is he seated? Right there in the back. But he has so many questions. I couldn't answer. I almost giving up. George has too many questions. Irrelevant questions. Okay, is it true? Is the product true? The marketing plan? Everything was a question for him. But you see, one thing that I observed, if a guy is so many questions, that means he's very interested. Okay, you sign him up because you need that guy. So that if a guy like him, you can just push him or you can deal with that. Okay, you need that in your team. Okay, so one thing that I observed, especially Arnel Limpin, they're my downlines, by the way, huh? Arnel, George, and Mr. John Aspin. And when I first met Arnel, that was after a year when I first met George, Arnel didn't sit in the seminar room. When we had a home party, he was just waiting at the gate. Come here, come on, sit. No, I can see you. Come here so you can hear and listen closely. No, I can show you, it's okay. And what his upline did was, he drove his car and then he let that guy drive his SUV. And it's never been the same after that. Car is his motivation. So his upline gave him the key and then, okay, you drive that car. That's it. The rest is history. It's because he's a boss in Hotel Hyatt, but he never had his own car. So that's his motivation. And then when I first met him, I told him that, okay, let's have a meeting within 48 hours. I'd like to meet your wife. So that if Arnel is negative, at least I have a plan B. Right? The wife, right? So when we had coffee in one of the Dunkin' Donuts in Green Hills, the first move that they did, this couple, my goal is to get Arnel, right? But the wife resigned immediately from her work. So the girl saw the vision that Arnel did. And the rest is history. We're now on a 2-decade partnership. Right? So what's our goal here? If you spot a person with this personality, because we're a people business, you don't want to spot someone who is not smiling. You want to see the business? It's good. So this is for me, okay? This is very important. Next, I don't want to judge people, but you see, this is very important. Next is optimistic attitude. It should be like almost 50-50, positive and sometimes negative. But you can change their mindset by sitting with them, studying them for the next 90 days. This is offline. This is also applicable on online, because online you can do Skype, right? You can do the video at your convenience, right? You can work at your own pace. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Next is about activity, very consistent. If you monitor your prospect, if you want this leader to move to the next level, you can simply observe on their activities. Either when they reach home, they read books, they do online training, they research, they try the products. Because within 48 hours, if that guy never returned your call or maybe never made any move somehow to see the business, then forget about it. It's just an additional user or maybe just a retailer. Okay? But still you want to keep these people. Next, had started to recruit, of course. I don't mean that this prospect have to sign up. It's just that they have to try and invite people. Okay? Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Next, regularly servicing customers. You have to share what's going on with the products, like what's gonna happen if they take the C247, what's gonna happen if on the first 3 to 5 days there will be a detoxification and enhancing metabolism that will gonna happen. You might expect some mucus going down, running on your nose. They might expect like phlegm running out. You can share that. Or maybe your poo-poo, it's gone, it's like a viral that smells into your house for the next 3 hours. Or maybe you can start checking your urine that there is a discoloration or maybe some, you have to explain everything. Right? Do you agree with me?
Yes.
You can tell them that, oh, don't be alarmed. It's part of the cleansing, You might see some on your poo-poo that is something moving, so that's yours. So, servicing customers. Or maybe you can make a calling card. Okay, I don't care if you put your vice president as your title. I don't mind. You know why? Because if you put vice president, you begin to act, you think, and walk and lead like a vice president. Yes, that's what the calling card is all about. Because you don't see, someone who's giving you a calling card says they're vice president and they're just wearing pec shorts, right? And you can note down every time there's a customer, you can note down behind the calling card, thank you for purchasing products from me. You just added the level of commitment to go on with my business. Again, thank you. You put a little thank you note at the back. I've been doing that over the last 26 years. Even if you only buy one coffee, I still put a simple note there. Thank you for purchasing product from me. You just added the level of encouragement to go on with my business. Again, thank you. Sometimes I misspell it also. So I can receive some, pathetic. You get that one? I stole that calling card from one of the real estate in one of my aunt's refrigerator back in the US. When I saw the simple note behind the call card, I stole that call card. And I used that during my training, and all my networks are using the same. It's a good note, right? Next, of course, this is very important. You think this is important? Yes, because if you're not productive, you can never be happy. There should be a production. There should be an increase. Everybody say increase.
Increase.
You see, if you make like 2,000 or 3,000 dirhams a month, and if you make like at least 500 or 1,000 dirhams extra on a part-time basis, I think that is something, right? Or maybe 2,000, or one day it could be 50-50, and one day it could be 100%. I still remember my first check was 1,200 in peso. That's about 120 dirhams. That's the first check that I had. And all my friends said, I thought you were going to make 30,000 a month. What can I say? It is my first check. And only thing I say is, one day it will be added 2 zeros. Everything small, start small, right? On the second month, I made 3,500 pesos. So that's 350 almost, 300 dirhams, right? All my friends said, I thought it was 30. I said, no, it's already 60% of my salary. When I started to make the same money that I make full-time on a part-time basis, I was making 8,000 during that time. And my friends suddenly realized that, there's 100% increase. You see? And then so on and so forth. I remember I made my first million at the age of 25. A year and a half doing the business. I did start part-time. 8 months part-time. I fired my boss on my 9th month. Yeah. Don't do that, huh? I mean, don't do like, boss, let's have a meeting. Why? You are fired. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't. Just tell it to yourself. I'm fired. Okay? Next. Willing to commit the time. Everybody say, willing to commit the time. Ayun na. Okay? So, when I first met the leaders that I have, especially John. By the way, John Asper is here. Can we give him a big round also? When I first met him, he has also many questions. So I asked him, okay, where do you live? Where can I drop you off? I mean, come, I can share my car. So all the questions are gone when he's inside my car because he began to touch the dashboard, the aircon, everything, the window up and down, the power window. And I asked him, okay, what are your questions? I said, none. Because what he saw is future, right? And he joined me full-time right away. After college, and then he waited for the board, but he didn't wait for the board exam. I mean, he already started to commit the time. And one of the wealthiest in my organization is him because he has a lot of investment. Because he started early. He started at a young age. See? It doesn't mean that you resign right away. It's just that you have to promise your dreams that you commit to him at least 1 hour every day. Why 1 hour? It's very important because every day you have to grow. 1 hour can make a difference. That's additional 1 hour a day, okay? That's already additional 365 hours in a year that most people don't have. So if you divide that at 8 hours, you have like extra 3 weeks in your business. You agree? Part-time. Okay? Next! Ready ka na dyan? Tatapos na ako. This is very important. Everybody say imagination. Okay, when you start part-time, okay? I'd like you to imagine that one day, 3 years from now, 2021, you should see the color of your house. You should the car, I mean, the style of the house, I mean the color of the car that you want to drive. For me, as a networker, car is very important. So you can, mobilization, you can go around. It's something that you can show off. Because people that, friends are still waiting for the results. And what else? House, probably this 3 to 5 years project. Right now, back home, I'm so proud to tell you that we are not already hyping you about cars or what our distributors enjoy it. They are starting to build their mansions back home. Okay? I remember this one distributor. I can show you the video later, right? Because that's our job now, like Pony. We are documenting our people because we saw them when they first started. There's this one lady who used to live under the bridge. Now yes, she has a house that has swimming pool. They drive like about 3 cars. Yeah. She used to work as a factory worker. There's also one lady who's 72 years old. He's one of our top earners. He's top 20 over the last 4 years. He makes almost $1 million a month. How come 72? Because remember, this is binary, left and right. So the only she recruited was one of the son and one of her daughter. See, left and right. Son and daughter. That's it. $5,800,000 a month. Now they have a mansion. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is very important. I want to show you what life is gonna be like 3 to 5 years. And these are the exciting part. You now know where you're going. Because the top earners that we're about to show you later, they're ones like you seated there in seminar room, and they are the ones listening and all the skills that we're sharing. And today they're earning more than what we used to as a networker. That's what M Global is all about. Okay? So I want you to imagine now, because it's the preview of life's coming attraction. It's very important. Imagination can move mountains. Have you experienced when you set your alarm at 7 a.m. and you first wake up in before the 7 a.m., before the alarm sound off? You know, your body now is trying to create its what we call as its own mechanism. It's going automatic. That's how your subconscious works, even at sleep. That's how imagination works. Even if you're trying to imagine a mango with so much sour mango, you begin to, droop, right? Especially when it comes with bagoong. You know, the salt paste. Okay, the shrimp paste, sorry. So, imagination is very important. I'd like you to imagine what life's gonna be like 3 to 5 years from now. And that time, you should be firing your own boss and ending that contract and go full time. Right?
Yes. Yes.
And spend quality time with your family. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to make up. Wala na? May break? Okay, that's about it. My share is finished. So I'm gonna give the microphone to our host. Thank you very much.
Yes! Yes! Thank you very much, Sir Francis Miguel!
Sir Francis Miguel, a round of applause.
Yeah! She speaks so calm and slow, but his words are all wisdom, right?
Yes.
So you could imagine his experience for the past 26 years.
26
Yeah,
years.
I thought it's only 24 years. But it's 26 years.
26 years.
Okay, so imagine, guys.